Hey Reddit, you guys are consistently one of our biggest sources of traffic because there's so fucking many of you and so fucking many of you are nerds. We just wanted to thank you for that and good luck sorting this shit out, I guess.
Hey everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Indigo.
And I'm Croog.
And today we're going to be talking about not only Roll20, but we're going to be talking about the Roll20 Reddit and how much of a cluster it is.
Hold on, you know how we go viral? Huh? We coined the name for the event. This is the Roll20 Apocalypse.
Roll20 Apocalypse!
No. How about Roll20 Gate?
Rollgate.
Rollgate. I like Rollgate.
It's like Rogaine, but better. Or worse. I don't know. Something.
To find out more about Rogaine with minoxidil, call this 800 number now.
All right, so what happened with Roll20? If you guys haven't been...
Rollgate.
Oh, sorry. If you guys aren't familiar what's happening with Rollgate, over on the Roll20 subreddit, there's been a lot of drama around a specific user named Apostle O, who's been banned from the subreddit for no reason, but then for a reason, but the reason was garbage.
Yeah.
And then, stemming from that, a huge meta discussion about how that subreddit is being run in general. And it is a mess. So we're gonna try to sort through it for you guys. Keep up. Links to everything are in our show notes if you want to check up on it. First thing that happened, Apostle O posted a thread on Reddit that was discussing his ban from the Roll20 subreddit.
He received a message about his ban and it said this: "You were banned from this subreddit approximately a year ago. We are banning your alternate account as well."
Now, this didn't really make sense to Apostle, the timeline specifically. A year ago, being banned from the subreddit account when he's only posted twice relatively recently didn't really make sense, and so he sent a reply. What is this about? I don't have an alternate account. Look at the history of this account. I've used it for 5 years. I've done nothing worthy of a ban. This must be a mistake. Please respond.
Roll20 moderator Nolan T responded saying, "We banned your alternate account, Apostle of Truth."
Right, which is a shockingly similar name.
Yeah, Apostle of Truth, Apostle O. I mean, the similarities of user accounts on Reddit have to be astronomical.
Oh yeah.
Like,
the number of times I run into somebody who has croog. Croog, for those of you that don't know, is a misspelling of Meet the Croods. That's literally all it is. Who else would do that? Who else is dumb enough to pick my name?
Excuse me, I had to do, on my Reddit, I had to do Indigo Jones where it was INN because there was already an Indigo Jones.
Focusing on Nolan T for a second, that user account belongs to a managing partner of the Roll20 company. So he isn't just some person monitoring this thread and being like, oh, I'm gonna hop in. This person is directly related to and basically not owns, but like is a decision maker at Roll20.
Yeah.
And so that kind of sheds a little light into why the rest of this gets really iffy. Now, after Apostle responded to Nolan, there was kind of a delay, I guess you could say, where Apostle kept following up day after day and not getting any responses. And admittedly, in my subjective opinion, that's a little redundant, but we'll move past that. He was getting more frustrated as time went on.
And he even said that. Like, he added an edit on afterwards saying, hey, look, I was probably a little bit more aggressive than I should have been, especially for a subreddit that I got banned for that I've only
posted in twice.
Like, I'm not like an avid follower of this Reddit, so.
But I do see where he's coming from when he says it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah, well, and the thing is like, if you get banned from anything, whether it's like, hey, you get banned from cricket, and you're like, I've never played cricket in my life, and you're like, but why did I get banned from cricket? And then it digs at you. And then when you ask for a response and you don't get one, you get more and more frustrated.
Exactly.
I get the frustration.
I absolutely agree with that.
He also reached out to Roll20, like the support from them.
Yeah,
and
like directly via email.
Exactly, and then he didn't get a response until a couple of days later, and it said this:
"We had reached out to Reddit admins to confirm or deny whether or not the other account shared an IP address. However, this influx of messages, particularly in response to a ban from a subreddit where you have only posted twice, has cause for concern just as much as the initial belief of ban evasion. It is due to this concern that we will be maintaining your ban from our subreddit." Huh? What?
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, we punished you, and then you got mad at us for punishing you.
When you didn't do anything wrong.
When you didn't do anything wrong. So because you got mad at us, we're gonna punish you for getting mad at us for us screwing.
Yeah, even though you actually didn't do anything wrong.
People add their emotions into situations that don't need to be added. He was not making direct threats to an individual. He was being frustrated.
Yeah.
And you're the person reading those emails, and you didn't respond right away, whether it was because you were busy or whatever the deal is,
yes.
like of why you couldn't respond. And then when you were finally able to respond, you were sitting on a fat stack of inquiries. And the biggest concern is they said, look, if you don't answer me and you don't respond to me, I'm going to go out to social media and use social media and be a detractor of your product.
Which is literally, like by the literal definition, a threat. But it's different from a threat of violence.
It's within his rights
because it's absolutely 100% within his rights.
Yeah.
Whereas violence, not at all within his rights.
Yeah.
And he didn't say that he was going to do that.
No.
He stayed within his lane, said, I'm going to take the recourse that I have available to me to help me get you to do what I think you should be doing.
And it's not like he said, I'm going to go out and make up all these false lies about you.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm gonna tell everyone all of like this shitty service that you're giving me.
And just real quick, he, like, man after my own heart, dude, took such copious notes. It's gorgeous. And okay, before we get like carried away, he could have faked 100% of that.
Sure.
Like I could have faked 100% of that. It's not difficult to
Yeah.
do. But I don't think it happened because of the way that Roll20 reacted.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I looked through the comments. There are a couple of relevant threads to this on the Roll20 subreddit that are really upvoted.
That didn't get
deleted. Yeah, that didn't get deleted by the moderators. I looked through a lot of the comments. There are thousands of them. I did not look through all of them. For people supporting Roll20, I couldn't find any.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's one or two, but
Sure.
like it was like what 4,800
Just in one thread.
Yeah, it's so difficult for you to sit there and legitimately go through it.
Yeah.
To
You have to write an application to do it for me. Like, sorry.
and it'd take you less time.
Statistically, it doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
Like, like nobody was on their team, and for good reason. They not only overreacted, but reacted like children, kind of.
Well, and here's the thing: is like they had the ability to reach out to Reddit and find out whether the IP address matched, right?
Yes.
They had that option from the start, and they were like, it takes time for that to happen.
Yes.
Well, then maybe your band should take some time.
Well, and here's the thing: it's not even that. It's just. Oh, that was weird. Let's move on from that. The only thing that they needed to do to prevent this was send him a message saying, we're looking into it. Or, please give us X amount of time. We'll follow back up with you on X date. And I know that is not the most ideal thing to hear from a support person, but it sets the client's expectations.
Yes.
And that is the most important thing when you're dealing with any client for any reason, any upset person for any reason. Bottom line, just set their expectations. Give them the next step.
Yeah.
The next step is you wait for 10 minutes and you give me 10 minutes to do my job and think about the problem. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a line. You can't come out and be like, give me 7.5 years, please.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. But like within reason, you should just communicate. But they did not.
No. And what communication that they did do after the fact from Nolan T, who came back onto that Reddit and wrote like a huge paragraph, was also just as garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't an apology by any stretch of the imagination. No. It was literally just like, here's things from our side. And then it just was like, this is what happened. And I was like, this is exactly what the OP says.
Yeah, except for it made them sound more like a dick, to be completely honest. When I was reading it, it was more like, well, it's not our fault that we banned them. Their name was similar to someone else, and they like copied pasted something that was like way longer than I expected them to respond. Like, it was just so stupid.
I would like to make a commitment to our community right now.
Yeah.
We will never ban you from any QueueTimes thing because your name is similar to someone else's name unless there's more evidence than that, or you're just kind of being a dick individually.
So
is that good? Are we cool with that?
One of the other commenters on the Reddit post was like, "Hey, look, I'm a moderator on a different subreddit, and like we ban people who have misbehaved, and if they change their name and they come back and they don't misbehave, then they become a part of the community."
Exactly. Since Nolan T's horrendously downvoted post, there has been a huge change. The moderators for the Roll20 subreddit are now not going to be associated with Roll20. Supposedly for the time being, the D&D moderators for the D&D subreddit are going to be taking over until they find permanent moderators for the Roll20 subreddit, which is a great move.
Oh yeah.
And those people.
Back the fuck up. That's literally how the situation was like.
Yeah.
Someone else.
I don't want it. They've already done some good things. Like there's, it's a lot easier to criticize the product now on the platform. And they've kind of opened up that line of communication a little bit better. And I think it's going to be a lot more acceptable for people to go there and be like, hey, why the fuck does this work this way? It doesn't make any sense. Can it work this way instead?
Yeah, and it's the thing is that at the end of the day, Roll20 and even Apostle O says this, Roll20 is the best virtual tabletop that's out there.
Yeah.
Head down in the comments and let us know. Do you think Nolan T's a dick? No. While you're down there, why don't you actually tell us whether you're subscribed to Roll20 and or if all of this made you unsubscribe or not.
Yeah.
While you're down there, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell icon so that you can re-ban the subscribe button.
That doesn't make any sense. Don't ban our subscribe button.
And then why don't you talk to me on Twitter? My name is Indigo, and you can reach me on Twitter at IndigoQT.
And I'm Croog. You can reach me at CroogQT on Twitter, or you can talk to both of us at _QueueTimes on Twitter, or at QueueTimes on Instagram.
We've been GameGorgon.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all later.